Hey, welcome to the Johnny McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And I do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, in as little as 15 hours worth of effort, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now on today's show, Hot Seat Coaching Thursday, I'm going to share with you a little bit about building your story of authority for your business. Now, building your authority story is really like a three-legged stool or a positioning tripod. You need to have all three critical elements of your story in order for you to truly resonate with your audience and for you to differentiate yourself in your marketplace. Now, it's this message that will connect your audience or your ideal target market to you, to your business, your product, and your service. So building your authority story is very important when it comes to the foundation of your messages moving forward in your business. Now, so many businesses and entrepreneurs don't go through this process and end up struggling and chasing clients in order to survive. By taking the time to build the foundation of your marketing message and using the stories and the messages throughout your marketing materials, your videos, your blogs, your posts, and everything that you put out to the public, you'll start to connect with the types of people you want to attract as clients and repel the types that you don't want to work with in your business. Now, your authority story is really the story that will tell about yourself and about your business that causes people to get engaged and be interested in what you have to say. Now, that's an important part of the positioning yourself as the authority, so that people understand why you're telling your story, what they can learn, and what you've got to share with them. So when you're going through this positioning tripod, it can be difficult and challenging, as there's lots of questions or parts of the story that take you outside of your comfort zone. See, here's the thing. If it were inside your comfort zone, you would already have the information and already be using it, because most of us like to stay and play inside our own comfort zone. Now, going through a process like this and focusing on your business and your message will give you the clarity and help you understand what makes you unique, which in turn will allow you to focus and monetize what you do at the highest levels. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back, we're going to go through the process of building your authority story. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining me today on Hot Seat Coaching Thursday. I don't have a guest for you today, but I do have a great informative show where you're going to learn what it takes to build your story of authority. Now, basically, this boils down to who are you and why should I listen to you? That's what the marketplace is saying when they get marketing messages and they hear and see things from all your communications that you're putting out there, whether it be high-end stuff like TV and radio, or whether it's stuff on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or Instagram, or you're delivering flyers, things like that. So why people want to know who are you and why they should listen to you. As I've said many times, you're in the media business, and you need to capture other people's attention. So you need to cut through a lot of the clutter and really try to connect and resonate with your audience or your ideal target market and get them to pay attention to you. Now, there's no better way to do this than with storytelling. Because if you think about it, this is how knowledge and wisdom was passed down over time. Also the books that you read, or the shows or the movies that you watch, and even the video clips that move you the most are the ones that tell compelling stories that really resonate with you. Now, some of the ones that have the biggest impact with us are what we call the hero stories, or the ones that show a transformation. Now, stories allow people to make sense of the world and see meaning in a lot of different things. People find it tremendously valuable listening to stories, because it allows you to show a lesson or an example, but do it in the context of real life people, so they can see how it applies. A great example of this would be in children's stories, because what they do is they take a learning lesson and wrap it in an interesting story. Now, believe it or not, adults are just as passionate and interested in hearing stories as children are, because so many are born in their cultures where stories play an important role in learning. Now, if you look at some of the top self-development and business books on the marketplace, so many of them are written in kind of a novel format. A great example is the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, which is one of the most top-selling business books in the last decade. And it's written more of as a novel kind of a story than it is all about facts and figures and the typical real estate investing. The point is, people do business with people, not with companies or products, especially in today's connected world. However, with the advent of all the social media platforms, text messaging, voicemail, people are actually feeling more disconnected than ever. And at the end of the day, people are looking for someone to actually believe in, whether it be leaders in politics or sports or business. In many markets, people are desperately seeking a leader. Most people want to just follow somebody else. It's just the way most people are built. So that's your opportunity to step up, share your talent, and lead people to their desired outcome. Because that's really what your business is all about. It's getting people to their desired outcome. So when it comes to crafting your story of authority, a story is a struggle. It's really a struggle of that inspires people to believe in themselves. And when you can show people that you've been through a lot of the same struggles that they have, some of the tribulations that people have gone through, when you can show that you've gone through a lot of the same things, that really allows people to believe in you. Now, this isn't about you telling a story so people feel sorry for you or somehow not being authentic or trying to manipulate people. It's just about showing people where you come from, why you're human, and giving them a sense of relation to you. Now, this is very powerful because you want people to be able to relate to you with respect to the story that you're telling them and the business or the service or the product that you're offering them. Now, when it comes to creating a story of authority, there are really three specific keys to the story, three things that you need to take into consideration. The first piece of creating a story of authority is what's known as your story of struggles, also known as the kryptonite story. This contains all the challenges or failures that you've gone through in your life. You're going to be, think about some of the more challenging things and likely the emotional challenges that you've had in your life. These make for really powerful stories. And by introducing a lot of the emotional aspect around these challenges, the emotions that you had, that you were going through as you were failing or as you were having these challenges, is really what's going to connect with your audience or your ideal target market. Now, the second piece is all about your credibility. Now, this is really where you've come from in spite of all your challenges. What you want here is to start, kind of stacking the evidence of your authority and your credibility throughout the stories. You want to talk about some of your accomplishments that you've had and other things that you've done in your life that on the surface may not seem to be directly connected with your business, but what it demonstrates is your character and your credibility and your perseverance in your own personal ability. Now this is accomplishments and triumphs that you've had in your life, victories, things like that. So you want to sort of draw on a lot of that information, a lot of things that you've accomplished or had success in the past, even if it's not related to your business, but it really speaks to your character and your ability to be persevere in a variety of different circumstances. Now, the third piece is your unique or public persona. This is sort of how people perceive you. In this step, you really want to be deliberately resonate and connect with your ideal prospect. So you want to weave, a lot of this stuff you want to weave in the information. You want to weave this information into your stories regularly. And what this does is allow you to actually pre-qualify people that are in your sphere of influence, because not everybody is going to like your personal persona. Not everybody's going to want to, further that relationship or do business with you. And that's okay, because those are what end up being your problem clients, and for the most part anyway. So what you want to do is you're trying to attract your ideal target market or the very best customer possible for you, and repel all the people that you don't want to actually do business with. Trying to keep them away, because those end up being your problem clients. If you think of the 80-20 rule, you spend 20% of your time, you spend 80% of your time on 20% of your clients, and typically that 20% of your clients are the problem clients that you spend the most of the time on. So by not attracting that type of client into your business to begin with is really what's going to help you be able to deliver and spend more quality time on the types of people that you want to do business with. Okay. So by being very clear on who you are, you also help other people identify and resonate with you, or decide that it isn't somebody that they really resonate with. And that's okay, because if they don't resonate with you, if they don't sort of get that connection, that's okay, because you really don't want to do business with them anyway, because there's just going to end up being a problem in most cases. And then and they're just going to move away. But that's okay, because it's actually good for you, because that means you're not going to spend a lot of time with them or waste any time trying to communicate and build that relationship with somebody that's not going to lead to any business anyway. So it's better off that they don't even come in and take your time, because it's just going to get all wasted and you're not going to really get any benefit from them. They're not going to buy your product or your service. So the goal here is sharing like memorable hooks, traits, elements about your life and your personal philosophy. It's also that another goal here is also that that all the people who follow you could actually repeat a lot of the similar stories. So a lot of the stories that you go through, a lot of the challenges that you've had and you've overcome, a lot of people are going to resonate with that, and they're probably going to see themselves in a lot of those stories. And so they want that transformation as well. They want to get to the other side. They're challenged and struggle with a lot of the same things that you have in the past, and they just want that solution to help them get to that desired outcome. So, a lot of this information that you're going to be sharing, your personal persona, is really going to connect with them, and they're going to see that you were able to, make it to the other side, for lack of a better term. So finally, it's really about what you intend to have known. Now, this is about being deliberate, about communicating specific information to your marketplace. It's not just allowing yourself to randomly talk about different ideas. So you're going to be consistent and deliberate and intentional about what you communicate to your audience. And that's very key, because I keep going back to this on a regular basis. You're really wanting to build that foundation before you dig too far into your business. And a lot of people that have already in their business and they're struggling and they're challenging, a lot of it has to do with their message, because they're not clear on a lot of different things. So a lot of them aren't clear on who their ideal target market is. A lot of them aren't building their stories. They're a story of authority that's going to resonate with their audience. A lot of them aren't using that deliberate communication, bringing the emotion into the equation when you're delivering, the content out via either Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram or YouTube, by talking specifically to your ideal target market, because they don't know it. So all they're doing is just throwing stuff at the wall and hope something sticks. They're sending out a lot of information and just hope that it resonates with somebody, without actually having a structure, building that foundation. Because once you actually go through this process at the beginning and you build that foundation of your ideal target market, what is your authority story, how it's going to connect with that target market, who that target market is, what are their pains, fears, frustrations, and ambitions, how your stories relate to all of that stuff. And then using all of that material on a consistent, persistent basis, and pushing it out to the world through all of your marketing messages. Now that is building the foundation that you can grow grow your business from and be very successful in making sure that you're attracting the right type of people into your business, that you're going to be able to build a strong relationship with them, and they're going to want to follow you as you're going through your business, or follow you as you're moving to the next level, or whatever it is, because they feel that you're the type of person that they want to actually do business with, or you're the type of person that can help them. Okay, so those are the three pieces that we're going to talk about in today's episode. Now, I guarantee that if you get clear in these three pieces and really think about them, being transparent, being authentic, that this may be some of the most important stuff you do in order to take your business to that next level. So pay close attention, take some notes, get some information, because this stuff is really, as I mentioned, I'm just going to I'm going to say this over and over. Every time I talk about messaging, every time I talk about ideal target market, every time I talk about you building your authority, it all boils down to having that solid foundation. So, you're going to hear me say that throughout this entire episode, is what you're doing is building that foundation and building the messaging that you're going to use on a consistent and persistent basis in all of your material.